Deszcz zrosił nam troszeczkę teren, dzięki czemu mamy coś, co Japończycy nazywają mizumaki, czyli takie zroszenie wodą, zapraszamy, zroszenie wodą wejścia do pawilonu czy do sklepu, w którym japoński gospodarz chciałby powitać swoich gości. To jest taką oznaką gościnności. Dozo. Zostało parę miejsc wolnych, ale mam nadzieję, że deszcz nie wystraszył za bardzo naszych gości. Jeżeli ktoś do nas dołączy, to bardzo będziemy się cieszyć. Spotykamy się na bardzo niezwykłym wydarzeniu. O samym projekcie opowie Richard Milgrim, który jest będzie naszym dzisiejszym gospodarzem. Richard jest z pochodzenia Amerykaninem, urodził się w Stanach Zjednoczonych, ale w wieku 20 kilku lat wyjechał do Japonii. Zakochał się, zafascynował się w japońskiej ceramice, w japońskiej kulturze i stwierdził, że tam chce zostać. Brał udział w programie Midorikai. To jest specjalny program stypendialny, który został ufundowany przez przez doktora Sen Genshitsu, 15. głowę rodu Urasenke, i która pozwala ludziom z całego świata zatopić się w tym świecie japońskiej herbaty. Dzięki czemu takie osoby, które chciałyby poznać, czym jest właśnie japońska kultura, czym jest japońska herbata, mogą pojechać na roczne stypendium do Japonii, do samego centrum, do Kyoto, do samego centrum kultury. W tym programie miałem szczęście brać udział, podobnie jak kilka osób z naszego stowarzyszenia, które tutaj reprezentuję. Przepraszam. W każdym razie wróćmy do Richarda, który, tak mówię, zakochał się w japońskiej ceramice. Zaczął bawić się ceramiką jeszcze w Stanach Zjednoczonych i zaczął łączyć te techniki, których nauczył się właśnie w Stanach Zjednoczonych, jak i w Japonii. Dzięki czemu zaczął tworzyć... Dzień dobry, zapraszam. Dzięki czemu zaczął tworzyć pewien most łączący właśnie Japonię i Stany Zjednoczone. Takie połączenie kultur będziemy mogli tutaj zobaczyć w przygotowanych przez niego i przywiezionych z Japonii czarkach. Dzień dobry, zapraszamy. Mamy pełen komplet praktycznie, także jeszcze raz bardzo dziękuję za przybycie tak jak mówię, głównym gospodarzem dzisiejszego wydarzenia będzie Richard Milgrim. W recepcji naszego spotkania w ogrodzie dostali Państwo ulotki informujące o jego twórczości, o troszeczkę jego historii także przede wszystkim mam do Państwa pytanie, czy wszyscy rozumieją po angielsku? Będzie dla nas po prostu łatwiej, jeżeli przełączymy się na angielski, nie będzie trzeba używać tłumaczenia. Jeżeli ktoś nie rozumie po angielsku, to bardzo proszę się zgłosić, a zrobimy tłumaczenie symultaniczne. Czy wszyscy są w porządku, żeby przejść na angielski? Okay, bardzo dziękuję w takim razie. Okay, so I will switch to English now. Welcome to Senshinkai. This is the name of our chashitsu, the tea pavilion that we're going to use today. And please welcome Richard Milgrim to as our host today. Richard, please come. Dozo.
Did you introduce
Yes, no. So I left it for you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen,
No, that's fine.
good morning. Thank you all for coming today. Please make yourselves as comfortable as possible under the circumstances. I'm glad to see that the rain has lifted and we are able to host you here. It was a little bit scary there for a few minutes. I thought we were going to have to all move inside. Before I begin my talk today, I would like to thank the people and places that have made this event possible. I think we are going to have translation. No. First, let me thank the Manggha Museum, which stands as a living bridge between Polish and Japanese culture, a space rooted in the spirit of appreciation, resilience, and memory, for providing this wonderful space for today's event, as well as support for the ongoing tea activities of the Krakow, Poland, Urasenke Tankokai Association. To the President and Vice President and dedicated members of the Urasenke Senshinkai Krakow Association for their genuine interest and support of our Imagine project that has allowed us to be here today to share this event with you. We're also grateful to Marukyu Koyama-en from Uji for providing Tamano Shiro Usucha for our Imagine project. Despite a recent shortage of high-quality matcha, they have generously contributed this fresh tea as one of our original sponsors for the events we will be holding. I must thank Dr. Sen Genshitsu, the 15th generation Grand Master of the Urasenke tradition of tea, from the bottom of my heart for his sincere and unwavering support these past 46 years. For this occasion, he has graciously written out his motto, Ichiwan Kara Peacefulness O, which is hanging in the tokonoma today. This is translated as peacefulness through a bowl of tea. He has also generously bestowed the name Imagine to my recently created tea bowl, made especially for this occasion, using glazes from my two countries, Japan and America. Today, through the use of these precious objects, we hope that you will feel his presence with us today as we share a very special bowl of tea. We would also like to express our thanks to John Lennon and Yoko Ono for their timeless anthem to peace that triggered the conception of this event over 1 year ago. Their ability to put into words a feeling that is truly universal has served as a reminder of a wish that can never be forgotten. In 1979, when I was a young art student just beginning my love affair with Japan and ceramics, by a simple twist of fate, I had a fortuitous one-on-one encounter with Dr. Soshitsu Sen, as he was named then. It was during a preview of an exhibition of priceless tea treasures brought to New York from Japan. After spending 10 minutes together, he suddenly offered me an invitation to his 350-year-old home and tea school in Kyoto, and became my mentor and patron. Over the past 46 years, he has blessed me, my studio, and my work with his unwavering endorsement, not just as a ceramic artist, but also as a cultural bridge builder. I owe him more than I can ever repay. This project, the Imagine project, was born out of that debt of gratitude and out of a conviction that the humble act of sharing a bowl of tea can awaken the same kind of empathy and presence that John Lennon sang about. As this pilgrimage for peace began to slowly evolve, it became apparent that coming to Poland was a long overdue journey that could no longer be denied. And 3 days ago, we began our visit here with a pilgrimage inside a pilgrimage. It was not one of comfort or beauty, but one of gravity, of truth. My wife Mari and I visited the camps of Auchwitz and Birkenau. Like many of you, I've lived with the stories of the Holocaust since I was a child. I've visited memorials in various countries, I've seen photos, watched documentaries, and read survivor accounts. But nothing compares to standing on that ground in person. Walking through the gates, seeing the barracks, the gas chambers, the crematoriums, the piles of suitcases and shoes that once belonged to innocent men, women, and children. It pierced me in a way that I still can't fully express. I listened to stories of how entire communities, innocent men, women, and children, scholars, students, shopkeepers, and primarily Jews, were systematically transported here, stripped of their dignity, their humanity, their possessions, their hair on their heads, and finally, their lives. It was an experience that shattered any sense of emotional distance. It demanded my presence. It demanded my grief. And it demanded that I ask myself, what does it mean to bear witness? What does it mean to carry that history into the present? Not as a burden, but as a responsibility. We gather today in the shadow of that history and in the shadow of another conflict just across the border, where war still rages on in Ukraine. We are not here to ignore these issues, but to respond to them with light, with presence, and with peace. That is what this project, the Imagine Project, is all about. That being said, I think it is appropriate to recite some of the lyrics to help us all narrow our focus on the central theme of today's gathering, peace through a bowl of tea. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. This song has endured for over 50 years as an anthem of peace and possibility. Its radical hopefulness continues to inspire people of all backgrounds, across generations, borders, and belief systems. But what does it really mean to live those words? Upon hearing this beautiful song again last spring, as I was preparing a gift for Dr. Sen's 101st birthday, I felt a total shift in my consciousness. An awakening, you might say. I felt the impact of the words to this song like never before, and I knew I had to take action. to honor Dr. Sen and his incredible century-long life with more than just the tea bowl, to make a pilgrimage that would unite the cause of his lifelong mission with the universal anthem for peace that John and Yoko created 55 years ago. A worldwide journey to connect and share these two stories for places in need of peace and healing, where a bowl of tea could truly make a difference. As an American, I have spent my life making one-of-a-kind tea vessels in Kyoto with the blessing of Dr. Sen. His life story, as some of you may know, was also shaped by war, the one going on in the Pacific. He came of age just as World War II was breaking out in Japan. At the young age of 20, he enrolled in the Imperial Japanese Navy and was chosen for an elite group of Navy pilots. These young men ultimately became the infamous kamikaze pilots, suicide bombers trained to sacrifice their young lives in the name of the emperor for a cause that was already lost. Despite the fact that he was fully prepared to die, this was not to be his fate. An act of divine intervention snatched him from the jaws of death. The gods had much bigger plans for this young man. As his comrades took off on their final mission, his flight was suddenly canceled. And from that moment on, he vowed to dedicate his life not to death, but to peace, to live for all his brothers, so their deaths would not be in vain. He has kept that promise with all his being for exactly 80 years. As the successor to a 400-year-old line of tea masters, he has dedicated his life to serving tea to people from all walks of life, in places of power and in places of loss, always with the same message: peacefulness through a bowl of tea. In that spirit, I've tried to imagine what it would mean to bring a bowl of tea into a place like Krakow, so close to Auchwitz at a time when war still burns just across the border in Ukraine. At first, it seemed almost absurd. What could one bowl of tea possibly do in the face of such vast suffering? But then I remembered what tea truly is. It is not about distraction or performance. It is not an escape. The way of tea, cha no yu in the Japanese tradition, is about presence, mindfulness, silence, intentionality, and the fleeting beauty of a shared moment. Every bowl of tea is an offering, prepared with care, received with grace. It is, in essence, a small ceremony of peace. It is about sitting across from another human being and saying, I am here for you. I dedicate this moment to you, to harmony, to respect, to purity and tranquility. In Japanese, wa, kei, sei, and jaku. Today we are here to offer that moment to you. And we do so here in Krakow, a city of immense beauty and deep scars. A city that, despite centuries of upheaval, has never stopped creating, remembering, and reaching out to the world. Just as Poland has taken in millions of Ukrainian refugees, you have opened your hearts, your homes, and your culture to others. I believe that same spirit is what we aim to awaken through the Imagine Project. Not just through speeches or art, but through quiet human encounters. through the kind of stillness that allows us to really listen. So today, let this offering, simple as it may be a gesture of peace, a small act of defiance against despair, a prayer for the people of Ukraine, a remembrance for the lives lost at Auchwitz and Birkenau, and a message to the world that no matter where we come from, we still have the capacity to meet each other in stillness, in truth, and in peace. Before we serve tea, I invite you to settle inward for a few moments of reflection. You may close your eyes if you like. Feel the air around you. Contemplate the history of this magical city. Feel the earth beneath you, ancient, solid, and still. Now, bring your attention to your breath, not to control it, just to notice it. Inhale slowly. Fill your lungs. And exhale. Let your shoulders soften and let your thoughts slow. Now, quietly ask yourselves, what does peace feel like? Not as a concept, but as a moment, as a presence, as a practice. What would it look like if peace were lived, not imagined? You may open your eyes when you're ready. In the Japanese way of tea, there is a teaching we hold close. Ichigo Ichie. One time, one meeting. Or as I like to say, once in a lifetime. It reminds us that no moment in life can ever be lived again. This very gathering, this place, this light, this combination of people will never happen again in exactly the same way. Not ever. It is precious beyond words. And because it is fleeting, we are called to be fully present, not just for ourselves, but for each other. That is the spirit of omoiyari, a core value of tea culture and of Japanese life. Omoiyari means to extend our awareness beyond our own needs, to feel into the experience of another, to anticipate, to care, to act with kindness before it's asked for. In many ways, omoiyari is the opposite of the conditions that led to Auschwitz. It is the antidote to dehumanization. It is a daily lived resistance to selfishness, cruelty, and apathy. And like tea, it asks almost nothing, but it offers everything. Imagine what the world would be like if more of our actions were grounded in that awareness. If we lived our lives not in pursuit of more, but in pursuit of meaning. If we asked not only, what do I need, but what might someone else need right now? That is the deeper invitation behind this bowl of tea. And so we ask you, before you drink, to take a moment. Feel the weight of the tea bowl. Notice the clay, the shape, the warmth. Know that it was made not by machine, but by hands. That it was fired in flame, and that it carries breath and intention. That it is offered with sincerity. Let it be a gesture, a remembrance, a moment of quiet connection in a noisy, distracted world. Let it also be a seed for peace, for presence, for omoiyari. Because peace is not built in speeches or treaties alone. It begins here, between us, through small acts of dignity and care, through presence and through tea. I thank you for being here today, for holding this moment with us. And I hope that in the days to come, you'll carry something of it with you. Now, let us share a bowl of tea for peace. We invite you now to drink a bowl of tea, not as a drink, but as an experience. Let it speak to your heart. As Dr. Sen has often said, a single bowl of tea can bring the world together. Let's imagine that together. Thank you. We will now offer you all some sweets before the tea. And while that's happening, I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has anything to say or comments.
I think we can put the picture here.
Okay. We have a photograph of Dr. Sen and myself that was taken in Kyoto at his home exactly 2 years ago when he was 100 years old. He still has the posture of a military man, but his spirit is so much more. Can we please serve the tea, the sweets?
Yes, we will start serving tea and sweets. So, but please, we would like to ask some of the guests to go into our jashitsu. So, please welcome. Hiroshi-san, Joseph. You can stand here and yes.
No. Oh, that little step there. Please be careful.
Hold on, we will serve sweets and tea to all of you. So please be patient, and our group will come with sweets soon. Mari Sensei will perform a tea ceremony for us.
Today we have a selection of dry sweets. The rectangular one is called kohakuto, and it is infused with These are orange peel. The meringue you may be familiar with. This is a local delicacy. And the little blue sweet is actually one that we brought from Kyoto for you today. Don't feel obligated to eat them all if you do not care to, but you're welcome to have as much as you like. It's a very interesting balance of flavors. I hope you will enjoy it. The ones with the orange peel they were handmade by the members of the Tankokai Association. As you enjoy your sweets, I would ask that you please focus your attention on my wife, who is preparing first bowl of tea. She has been studying and teaching the way of tea for over 50 years. Today we are using an assortment of utensils, some of which I have brought from Japan, especially for this occasion, and others which are local, some from right here in Krakow, and others, let's see, we have, this is also Polish, so what's called a shakutate with the ladle in it, that is called a shakutate, and that is a local Polish artist's work. The iron furo and kettle set is from Japan. And traditionally used on this type of a table for tea. We call tenchaban. This type of arrangement was first used well over a century ago by the, I believe, 11th Grandmaster of the Urasenke school, Gengensai, when he was making tea for foreign guests at a World's Fair in Japan, late in the 19th century. As you probably know, when we usually do tea, we sit on the tatami mats with our legs underneath us, but this is very uncomfortable for most Westerners who have not experienced that type of a posture before. So recently, there are many cases where people are serving tea sitting at tables and chairs. The preparation is really the same. Up to this point, Mari has been purifying the utensils, which of course were already purified before they came out. But this is a moment when our guests are also able to focus and experience that moment of reflection before you actually are served the tea. The water container, which she just took the lid off of, that's also done by a local artist here in Krakow. as I mentioned in the talk, the scroll hanging in the alcove, the tokonoma, was written this June by Dr. Sen at 102 years old. His calligraphy has not wavered even at that age. And the bowl that she is making tea in right now was blessed with the name Imagine in honor of this event.
This is not hot. Like water. So sorry. I think from the back we should bring a better one.
More refreshing.
It's cold tea.
Where's the sun?
ごめんなさい。本当に美味しくない。どうしましょう。
べったりいただけない。
ごめんなさい。本当に悪い。ごめんなさいね。
そんなに悪くない。
Traditionally, after the tea is drunk, the guest will put it down and then have a look at the tea and look at the bowl from all sides. As is obvious, it's a three-dimensional object. So when you have it in front of you, you can only see one side of the bowl. So it's very considered to be very good etiquette to completely observe the bowl, both from above as well as from below. So we always in Japan look very carefully at the foot of the tea bowl, which we call chawan. Please take your time. You can drink it in as many sips as you like. Afterward, I'm sorry, it seems like maybe somebody is dribbling here. I hope it doesn't turn into real rain. My apologies, John.
So sorry I didn't check.
I think maybe we'll offer you a second bowl if you like. Once it gets warmed up. Get close, everybody. I'm so sorry to see that the gods have decided to let go. Maybe they're tears, who knows, you know. So the bowls that you just drank from, the first one was made at my studio in Kyoto, as well as the second one. The third bowl, which you're drinking from there, was made in Minnesota in the US at a friend's kiln, and it was done with local Minnesota clay and navy bean ash. So it's natural ash glaze. After you finish the tea, you take a look at the other side, you'll be able to see interesting contrast between the hot side of the bowl and the cool side when it was in the firing. So one side has the glaze is much more fluxed and has begun to run.
It's very smooth here and it's kind of
Yes.
detailed here.
Uh-huh. The next guest, I believe that was made by a Ukrainian artist. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. And the next bowl comes from Japan. It was made in a place called Bizen, which is a very famous kiln site that goes back over 1,000 years. This bowl was probably made maybe 20 years ago or something like that. And it has natural ash glaze, so it's very irregular. Here in the tea room we have the second bowl that we've used today is of the raku style, and this piece was made by me, and it was the calligraphy on the bowl was done by the head priest of a very, very sacred temple in Kyoto, very close to Urasenke headquarters, which is called Juko-in. And this is the temple where the 16th century tea master Sen no Rikyu lies. And in the world of tea, it's almost like a mecca for tea people. The next bowl that Mari has just made is of the Kuro Oribe style, black Oribe. This is a traditional style that goes back 400 years. This particular piece was made at my studio outside of Kyoto. And as you see the bowl turn, you will be able to see a white area with a design. This is representative of no nuclear war. This was a piece, a bowl made for peace in 2008 when America's President Obama was fighting for the banning of nuclear weapons. Oh, good.
Because it was not cheap. Yeah.
All kinds of happenings today. Yeah. Yes. A true Ichigo Ichie moment, once in a lifetime. Mm. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, please.
The tea was delicious, but I wanted to ask you about the quality of the water. I mean the acidity, the saltiness, and do you test it somehow? Like, how do you compare the quality of the water which is here in Krakow compared to what you have in
I have to be honest, I have not done any testing on the water. I think maybe perhaps the people who live here might be able to shed some light on that. Greg, we have a question about the water.
Yes.
Is it well water or where is it from?
Sometimes we use well water, but today we have good enough water from the tap here in Krakow, in this area. The water in Krakow depends on the place.
Uh-huh.
So some parts of Krakow has not very good water,
Uh-huh.
but this area has quite good water, so we are using normal tap water.
This is your first time here in Poland?
Yes, it's the first time.
Alright.
Yeah.
And you just come here directly to Krakow, right?
No, actually, we came from Japan first to Budapest, and we did an event like this in the garden of a wonderful little museum in Budapest, East Asian Art Museum. And after Budapest, we traveled to Helsinki, Finland,
Oh, really?
and we did a presentation in Helsinki in a place called. Excuse the pronunciation because I don't speak Finnish, but Suomenlinna is a fortress in the bay off the coast of Helsinki that was built in the middle of the 18th century. And it's a very interesting space because it's an island, and it's this incredibly vast fortress. There are, stone walls going all over the place, and inside the fortress were all these rooms. And in this particular case, there is a room that used to be an ammunition depository, and they have turned that into a beautiful Japanese tea room. And the Urasenke Finland Association uses that as their headquarters. So it was a very, very sort of unique experience because we were making tea in a place that was meant for keeping people out, and we were welcoming them in. And it was, the exact opposite of what that place was built for. I'm so sorry about the rain. My powers don't extend to that degree here. But it was really incredibly unique space. It had an arched ceiling, and the walls were all done. Excuse me, ladies. Excuse me. The walls were all built like Japanese clay walls and wooden tea room, just like here. But the ceiling is a brick arch ceiling, so you get a feeling that's totally different from a regular tea room. Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah.
So Budapest Helsinki, now Krakow.
Next stop is the U.S.
Oh, US.
And we're going to be doing an event at the Grace Cathedral in San Francisco. This is the most, I think, famous church in San Francisco. And they have a labyrinth. Do you know what a labyrinth is? Yeah. So they have a labyrinth.
I've been there, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we are going to ask people to walk the labyrinth before the talk, and then I will talk, and then we will offer them tea. Yeah. So this is actually the beginning stage of the Imagine project, and we hope to continue next year and visit many more countries, both in Asia and Europe, as well as the U.S. And perhaps go on until maybe the end of 2026. As long as people welcome us.
So
Yeah.
when you will be back in the next year?
Well, I think if we come back to Poland, not that I know that Urasenke has another association that's based in Warsaw. So unfortunately, those people were unable to come today. So hopefully we will get there, perhaps on our next visit. But there are so many countries that we would love to visit. And you know, being able to host you here in such a really unique space is it's a privilege. I really appreciate all your presence today, coming, and of course hanging tough with this weather. Of course we can't trust these phones to tell us what is actually going to happen, but that's why we use the expression ichigo ichie. There are always, variations in the moment. So in the tea room itself, we have some beautiful flowers, local flowers, that were gathered by some of our members today, and they're in a traditional Polish country basket. It's in the shape of a bottle, but it's actually made as a basket. Greg, do you want to tell us what do you know the flower's name?
The grass is zebra grass. In Japanese,
Yahazususki is the grass, the high grass, also called zebra grass.
I checked, and in Japanese it's
Yomogigiku in Japanese, the yellow flower.
And the white one is mallow. Yeah, but we don't know.
A small version of a mallow,
Yes.
flower, the white one.
The red one was two words. Mom, man. Red one, man, is that there? That was doing, yeah. And the purple one is yagumaso.
Yagumaso.
Yagumaso. 皆さんわかるわかります。
Also in the tokonoma, if you care to, after we're all finished, you can come and look at the boxes that were written by one. The main bowl, as I mentioned, was given the name Imagine by Dr. Sen, and that is also written out by him personally. The tea scoop that we use today was made by his son, Zabosai Oyemoto, who is now the 16th generation Grand Master of the Urasenke family. And The bowl, I'm sorry, the chashaku is named chokan, which can be translated as listen to the stillness. The third box you see over there is actually the box for the second white raku bowl with the calligraphy on it, and that was written by the head abbot of the Jukoin temple at Daitokuji, one of the most famous Zen monasteries in Japan, well, in the world for that matter. And behind it is what we call the kaiki, which is like an explanation of all the utensils that we've used today. It's written out in Japanese, so I'm sure many of you, or most of you, probably can't read it. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Anyway, and with that, if there are no further questions, I want to thank you once more for coming and enduring the shower. I don't know if you'll ever have any experience quite like this again, but I hope you enjoyed the tea, and if possible, I hope that you will also consider what each one of us can do in terms of taking some kind of action, positive action towards peace. If nothing else, I hope that will stay with you today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
We have one more ask of you. If you could go to the Manggha Museum, here on this level, there will be a short questionnaire. If you would like to share your thoughts about this event, please do so. Thank you one more.
We would definitely appreciate that. And I also will, at the same time, maybe offer you a small brochure about...
The brochure was already
with-
given out.
Oh, it's already given out. Oh, okay. Thank you. We are going to also have a Instagram page about this event, about the Imagine project in total. And if you feel so inclined, please like and follow that. We're trying to get up to speed and posting some photos from the other events in Helsinki and Budapest. So I hope you'll have a look. Thank you so much. If anyone would like to come up, feel free to do so.
皆さんね、雨に濡れてね、濡れてるから。
Be
ここだけ
careful. Yeah. I'll be standing there. Yeah.
Można to napisać na Facebooku, na stowarzyszenie Senshinkai, albo zwykle mamy zajęcia od godziny 10.
So please, I have to ask not to touch the boxes. We're so surprised by this rain. It was not in the. It was not in my plans.
Nobody was expecting that really.
Well, they told us it would stop at 10, and it did, but they didn't tell us it was going to start again.
Yeah, we were like waiting for a taxi, and nobody really wanted to take us because I don't know. It was